it's a kind of gift from God. You know, it's like your talent too. I think all of our talents, it's like God gives us all gifts, and He gives us some gifts more than others.
Yeah.
Like, and it's our job to find out what that gift is and then put all our effort into that.
27 years ago called Dimmock, and I learned how to be an A&R. And an A&R is you find new artists. Like you see something developing, you're like, okay, I want to invest time into this artist and help them grow because there's something special.
Never thought I would be, know, and let alone be interacting and working with like billionaires, right? Like that just seemed beyond my comprehension. Then as I did and was fortunate over enough my career to hang and be in those circles and now know a lot of them, right?
You designed your life. You design your reality. And especially when you write it down, especially when you take the time to craft it out in the way you did, the universe wants to help you.
Chasing one's dream and chasing one's destiny and not settling for the glitter and the gold that can come in the way and thinking that that's actually the dream and the destiny, but you actually know you should keep on going further. And as the further you go, you're really going to get what it was that you were meant to get.
If you're not good at something, the best you'll probably be at it is good. But if you're already naturally good at something, you can be great at that.
You're so funny with it. Like, how did you come up with this stuff?
It's like, I feel like it's a kind of gift from God. You know, it's like your talent too. I think all of our talents, it's like God gives us all gifts, and He gives us some gifts more than others.
Yeah.
Like, and it's our job to find out what that gift is and then put all our effort into that. So I feel like some people are maybe, excellent at the piano, but they won't know until they actually try, and then they realize like they have a natural talent, and then when they focus their energy into that, then they see that, oh wow, and that's why some people are just like, but pianist.
Yeah, pianist.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so beautiful. I love that. You're right. We are all born with a gift inside of us. We have to just like unravel it and find it at the present.
Exactly.
You know? And like that's such a beautiful way that you put that. I really like that. Did you know your purpose from young? Did you like?
Yeah.
You just knew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew it's the only thing I wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah. Was acting, entertainment. Yeah.
Well, you did it the right way. You went viral first. Like,
I didn't even know. Because like back when I was a kid, I remember being in school. They told us like the job that we wanted wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
By the time that we were older, and
well, that's interesting.
yeah.
Because of the speed it's moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew I wanted to be an actor. I didn't. Social media wasn't even. There was when I was a little baby. We had no internet. So it's like to you just have to like when God gives you that path, you just gotta pick the right. You just gotta follow the journey. You can't. There's a lot of people they'll see it and be like, oh, the internet. I don't want to do that, and they're blocking the blessing. You know what I mean? So you just gotta say yes to a lot of things.
Say yes to a lot of things. That's powerful.
Yeah.
People sit around there like, I really want to be an actor, and I'm like, sweetie, you're doing a 9-5, but from your 5-9, what are you doing?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying you should stay up all night, but what are you doing in that section of time where you could be going and applying for jobs, getting an agent, getting some filming underway? Like when I was building my brand, building into what I do today, I didn't waste time. That's all I did. I put my blinkers on. I was like beelining what I wanted. You've beelined it too. Like you moved city for it, state for it. You moved from somewhere in Florida to the place of your dreams coming true, where you knew you needed to be, and you've blown up. You knew, I know what I got to do.
Yeah.
That's so inspiring. I feel like if you were to tell your younger self something, what would your message be? Like if you were to tell them.
I don't even think I would need to, because that's how I look at life. I already looked at like the way that I see it was something was already telling me that I was going to be an actor.
Wow.
Or an entertainer. So I was just, like I said before, I just always had that vision. People were like, no, you're not going to do it. And I was like, all right, sure. So I think whatever message I was gonna tell myself, I told myself.
Did your family know? Were they behind you on that?
They were like, all right, cool, yeah, but make sure you go to school.
Yeah, I got that too from
Yeah.
my family. Like, but I didn't go to school. Like, I totally just like walked out at 18, moved to America, did a year in New York, recording an album, thought I was the fucking G. I mean, like, it was just ridiculous.
Oh, I got Jamaican parents. They ain't let me walk nowhere. Yeah, they're like, nah, you gonna go to school. Mm-hmm.
So good. And then look how much you've done. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a story that your family would tell about you?
They would probably say that I'm really impulsive and I have a big dreams. Yeah, that's what they would say. Because a lot of the things I try to achieve, I make them out of this world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just biggest movie star in the world.
God, I love it. Yes, King, preach. Come on, you are. You got this. I believe in you. You're young. You're fucking hilarious. You're already nailing it. Like, let's go like even bigger.
Yeah.
Where the aliens know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, go so big. That's just wild. Like, intergalactic.
Yeah.
God, I love it. Fun. You got a dream. What are some of your biggest goals right now? Like, you're already doing so well. So it's an interesting question. You know, sometimes when people ask me what my goals are, I'm like, bitch, do you not see what I'm doing? But it's not that. I know that they're pushing me to go bigger. So I'm like, okay, bring it on. I want to reach 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Like, what's your next? Like,
the next goal on the list is I started a production company.
yes.
I want to grow that. I want it to be $1 billion company.
Come on it is. We can celebrate.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I started I'm doing my stand up. I want to film my stand up special next year. Yeah, it's just.
You should do a world tour. My friend, I went to, Jack Whitehall. Grew up together, but I feel like when I went to watch him on his tour, I went to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me, you should do that same. You should go on a world tour. 100%. You fill up all these spaces. People are obsessed with you. They're hilarious. I love it. Oh my God. And you got so many cool people that would like come and do a guest appearance.
Yeah.
You know, I like being oh my God, I'd be so scared, like trying to tell jokes. I'd be like, oh my God, what if it's not funny? Like,
You'll be fine.
oh my God, no, I love watching comedy. Like, it just gives so many people joy.
Mm-hmm.
What you do brings so much joy into people's lives. And I think that must be really rewarding. You must wake up knowing you're bringing joy to somebody. You don't know what they've been through that day.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's like, I think everybody has a purpose in life, and as humans, we need to spread positivity in a world that's, fairly negative,
That's so beautiful. And it is. It's a place which is like heavy and you need more joy. There should be like a comedy channel 24/7.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you create one?
A comedy channel?
Please.
I think Comedy Central already has one.
But another one. I can watch more easily. Like, it's on stream. It's just people came back
Yeah, I'll do that.
24/7.
Bachelor's Pad TV.
Yes, please. Let's fucking go nuts. Okay, I got a really good question for you.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable party moment?
Party moment?
Yes.
Oh, we can't talk about that. I'll tell you after the show. The most one.
Like, it's like, I don't know, you party and someone threw something funny on you, like a bra or some mad shit happened in like a crazy party scene.
It's LA, so a lot of crazy stuff happens.
Really?
I remember I went to Bieber. He had a party, and he had we were staying at the Caesar's Palace Hotel, and the room cost like $25,000 a night. Yeah, and it was just like there were so many people there. I think it was the most people I've ever seen in a party, and people were just going crazy, like surfing on people.
No way.
There was a donkey.
I kind of like this. I'm jamming with this vibe. It's a fucking donkey in the room.
Nah, I don't really know any crazy like yeah, I don't know.
That donkey one was good though.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
what's your favorite No. What's the most embarrassing song that you love?
The most TikTok by
Tick, tick, boom.
no, TikTok, make it drop, and the party don't stop. Is it that's Kesha? Yo, I used to jam that all the time.
That's your jam.
I started a label 27 years ago called Bach, and I learned how to be an A&R. And an A&R is you find new artists. Like you see something developing, you're like, okay, I want to invest time into this artist and help them grow because there's something special. Well, just by the pure like kind of practice of doing that with music, I started applying that in business and in different industries that really excited me. And during COVID, fast forward, during COVID, I had all this time. I was stuck at home, and I got really into what I used to do, nostalgia. So I got really into what I used to do as a kid, is like open up packs and get like cool, like, you know, try to get like the rare baseball cards, football cards, you know, whatever. And then I got into Pokemon, and then now I have money. And as a kid, you didn't have money. So as a kid, you could like afford like a pack for like $5. Now I'm like, I have money. I could buy the most expensive one. And like, I just act like a kid going, hey, if you had the money, would you get that? Now I could do that.
Yeah.
And then, I was like getting all into the Pokemon box openings and spending a lot of money in that space. And then I was like, the A&R side of me, the entrepreneur side of me is, what is the next Pokemon? What are the next, what's called TCGs, trading card games. So I went and scanned all the different TCG companies, and I actually talked with a few of the CEOs to get like their vision and their identity and what their plan is, roadmap. And then I met with the creator of MetaZoo, and he told me his story of what MetaZoo is all about, which to me was a goldmine IP. And basically the reason why I think it's a goldmine IP is that it's based around cryptids, which are characters and beasties and like fictitious things out there that we created throughout time. So Santa Claus is a cryptid. Bigfoot's a cryptid.
Oh, I got it.
Or like anything that we create, like the UFOs are cryptid. We like create these. Yeah. So basically, it's all familiar, and it's public domain. So like, there's no one, like you can make a Bigfoot T-shirt, no one's gonna come after you because there's no company that owns Bigfoot.
Wow, it's like public IPs.
Yeah, but you can make an interpretation of that. So we made MetaZoo was, the whole idea of MetaZoo is to create an entire world where all cryptids live from all around the world. So there's tens of thousands of these characters that you can actually, if you create a story, they can exist together, and we can create our own interpretation, and we own the IP of that interpretation. And when we started this, this is wild. So it started as a Kickstarter project with $17,000 invested from Kickstarter, crowdsourced, and launched its first boxes of characters, and that's when I got involved.
Wow.
And 16 months later, we've already grossed over $50 million. 16 months, it's grossed over $50 million in business.
That's fucking amazing.
Based on trading cards. So of course we do collaborations, which is wild, the numbers. Like we dropped Christmas wrapping paper with MetaZoo logos and sold $1 million of Christmas wrapping paper in 6 hours. We did skate decks that's, we sold upwards of $1 million in 40 minutes. I think.
What was that moment?
Well, what I'm learning now is balance, because up until, maybe 2 years ago, since COVID, maybe a year ago, I've been driving in the red for this whole time. I mean, and when I say I'm driving in the red, I'm like pushing myself.
Yeah.
Like doing 200, 300 shows a year. I did 300 shows a year for a few years.
Every night, apart from
it's like
5 days.
It's like basically I'm flying the other 50 days. So I'm like,
there's 365 days in a year.
Right. So I'm like doing 300, and I do my all like the other days. But I never cracked below 200 shows a year until COVID.
Yeah.
For 15 years straight. So, I mean, I loved the title that I'm the hardest working DJ. I loved it. I like totally embraced it. I like took pride in it.
Yeah.
And when people said that about me, or like, I was like, you know, that's me. You know what I mean? I have the Guinness Book of World Records of the most traveled musician in one calendar year. So it's not just DJs. Like all musicians, have more miles. So it's like I love holding that kind of thing, but I realized it's just not sustainable. And because of COVID, when everything stopped, and there's no FOMO, because there's a difference between like being at home and knowing that the world is going without you, and then you just feel like this urge to be like, I gotta go out, versus being at home and everyone's stuck at home. It's like a true, like, for me, that was like, wow, I really, really enjoy it, because before I didn't enjoy it, being at home and like where I couldn't go out. And now since everyone's stuck at home, like, okay, now what should I do with this time? And you know, the driver inside of me is like, okay, I need to like turn every day into a lesson.
Beautiful.
And then I just, you know, then I got really into mindfulness, and then realized that every day doesn't have to be a lesson. You know, like it's funny how the more you get more into like self-care, it's like you don't have to always drive. You know, and
be.
Yeah, exactly. So like meditation
present.
is all about being to be instead of to doing, right? So the more I got into that, then you know, now I'm coming out of it, and I'm trying to find this balance, because when the train's going and I'm in the driver's seat, I can't stop myself, but just to keep pushing. But I am seeing a major difference of at least the ethos of how I look at my like pursuit of, you know, what I'm doing in my life, the impact that I'm trying to create, all the shows. I've turned down so much. It's crazy. I've never turned down as much as I have. I've turned down like the Emmys to DJ the Emmys. I've turned down the Macy's Day Parade to DJ that thing. These are huge televised television shows. I've turned down 2 movie appearances where I can cameos myself. I've turned down other things I don't want to say out loud because I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings that ask me to do stuff. But like really, really like things that, like, you know, a younger self 3 years ago would be like flying to do those things. I've learned to say no that I never experienced before COVID. So, and it feels great. And I enjoy just being home and vegging out and playing Call of Duty. Yes. Like I don't like need to actually do so much.
Yeah.
I like to be in my cold plunge and just like zoning out in there, getting my sauna, doing like stuff like that, where it doesn't have to be all about like, you know, how do I get to the next stage of my life? You know, although I still have that drive.
Okay, love, one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
You love love?
I think who doesn't, right?
Yes, it's so interesting that what's love to you?
Love, I think, it's a good question. I mean, it's a feeling that is unique to us humans, right?
Yes.
That only we can do, that can be of anything. It can be of like, I love baseball and sports and things like that. Obviously, we all associate it with people, but it can be habits, it can be, you know, a multitude of things that we really enjoy and look forward to and go out of our ways to seek out.
Interesting. Have you ever been in love?
Of course.
Are you easy to fall in love?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm easy to fall in love. I think, you know, it takes a lot to like, I think I put up a lot of walls, especially from where I have to do those things. So I think it takes a while, you know?
Interesting. So I'm the polar opposite. I fall
Really?
in love
Instantly?
in like a heartbeat. I got married after 3 months, babe. That was the second one.
True, it's great. And it's
Like,
worked out though,
I'm fine
apparently,
with it.
right?
I'm really like that. I'm super fucking impulsive. And like, I just believe that love is, if you're just ready for it and you open your arms to it, the right person will come in. Now, I'm not saying boundaries are not good. You know, I wish I probably set a few more because like, I don't know if I marry this cat again. But like, you know, but like, you know, it's more, he's sitting in the background.
Yeah, I know, we're laughing, we're smiling at him.
Oh my God, no, he's wonderful. But you know, the point is we basically have a choice.
Yeah.
Love is a choice. And it's scary because when you fall in love, you're going to get hurt potentially.
Oh, yeah.
And relationships are not easy. You're going to have moments where it's really hard. Yeah. And so we put our heart on the line. And for people who are like control freaks, and I'm a bit of a control freak, and like super strong in what we do and successful, you don't always want to put your heart on the line, but like, it's hard for me because I love love.
It's tough. It's tough, right? Like, and that's the mysteries of life, right? Like, no matter where you are, the level of success, the amount of money that you have, like, these are the challenges that every human being faces. And what I've learned too, just like interesting, taking another step. When I started like growing up like in Minnesota, right? Like I think the fanciest car I ever saw was like a C-Class Mercedes. And I was like blown away by that, right? Like it never moved to LA, like saw Lamborghinis, like what is going on? But never thought I would be, know, and let alone be interacting and working with like billionaires, right? Like that just seemed beyond my comprehension. Then as I did and was fortunate over my career to hang and be in those circles and now know a lot of them, right? And like sitting at dinner, I remember I was sitting in the Hamptons, billionaire family's house, having dinner, talking about their problems and stuff. I was like, wait, they have the exact same problems everybody else does. And even the issues, and even like in money, the issues are there, just the zeros at the end change, right? So the same issue. Somebody might be arguing over $20. They might be arguing over 200 million, right? So like, but it's the same thing. Like they could have lost it, bad investment, good thing, done those things. But they're still facing the same things, dealing with issues in family, talking about love, talking about all these different things. And I realized like, wow, we really all like, no matter the class is the same. It's just what you're dealing with. Well, it's the same problem. It's just the amount of zeros changes.
I totally agree. Like you think with more money, less problems. No, it's the opposite. Actually, I think in so
if you're in the same
ways.
case, the same way you manage your money, right? Like if you're very risky with not having much money, you're going to be the same way with the same amount of money. You're just getting higher returns, but higher risks. And the same when you start making it. It's the same as if you were making middle class from that. It's just you're managing it the same way. It's just different zeros at the end, which was always fascinating to me. I was like, wow, we're really all the same, right? And sorry, not to get too philosophical, but Steve Jobs, one of my favorite quote is, he's like, once you realize that everything around us, like look at the computers, look at all these AI tools and stuff, was created by a human no different than you that bleeds just like you, that really opens your mind up. And I think there's a lot of kids, and that's one thing that I'm so passionate about empowering another generation is that they don't believe that they can do it. They think that like, oh, I'm from the Midwest, I'm not able to do this. And dude, if I can do it, like living the Hollywood dream as a kid, just a kid from Minnesota, like not being the smartest, not being the most successful, not being the best really in any of those things, just working hard. I'm like, anybody else can do it. But I think a lot of people don't realize like all these things are truly obtainable. And that's one thing that I really try to emphasize and tell and share with people, right?
I love that. That's really beautiful. When you were a kid, did you have a certain tenacity about you? Did you have a certain dream? Were you just like, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go and do something different. I'm going to get out of this wonderful city, but go to a
100%. I couldn't do 100%. Like I couldn't do what I wanted to do growing up in Minneapolis, right? Like there just wasn't a platform that it was LA or New York.
I didn't even know how to say Minneapolis until recently. Like so it being something, what was it that was filmed there? We were filming something the other day.
Awesome.
Minneapolis. I
know it's tough. A lot of people say Minneapolis, right? Like it's funny. Minneapolis.
I'll get there.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there and you'll enjoy it. So shout out to Minneapolis. It's still the hometown and love it, right?
I love it. Like I've
so
seen the most beautiful pictures and like I'm gonna take a trip. But carry
as long
on,
as you're not there. But yeah, like I couldn't do what I was doing. And I knew like as soon as I got into DJing, like that's what I was gonna do. Not from like a cocky perspective, but just like, no, this is what I want to do and I'm gonna find a way to make it happen. And I knew like to hit the successes that I wanted, I had to leave, right? I had to go to New York or LA and made it happen and took the risk.
God, I love that. I knew with me, I had to move to LA. Same thing. And I had to do a transatlantic move.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Right? Like with a kid as well. I was like, this is a big ass move. Like I knew I needed to do it. I needed to do it for many years, to be honest. I've been working in LA, like just had so much on. And then I was like, I have to just move. Like my studio's over there. Like I have my first studio in LA. Now I have it in my house, but like I was massively like back and forwards on a plane and all my students and my clients were predominantly in LA, New York, Miami, but a lot LA. And I was like, okay, I'm being called. Like I knew I had to go. So I manifested it. I wrote it down. I decided, okay, I am going to move there. And I wrote it. I did my method.
That's awesome.
Called scripting, where you write your goals that you want, your future, in the past tense as though you've already achieved it. So I was like, Natasha did this and moved to LA by March 1st, 2023. And I moved well before that. But yeah,
amazing. Congrats.
It happened. So I wrote it down. Have you ever done any like interesting things with journaling, writing things down?
I haven't done as much. I mean, I have like, I do a pretty good job with my team of like keeping to-do lists and putting now like different goals, like occasionally, but more like very time focused, not holistically. Like I want to get to that. But I do have those things in my head, right? Like, so I kind of manifest them in a different way or keep them in a different way.
Can you imagine a life where you effortlessly magnetize your dreams to you? Financial success, the love of your life, the family of your dreams, and everything you've ever dreamed of at your fingertips. With my approach to manifesting, I have a practical method where you use the power of your creative words. It's called scripting. We write in the past tense in a certain way to attract all our desires to us. I've done this. I met my husband in 3 weeks doing this. I helped myself heal twice. I helped myself get rid of a rash on my body. I have helped myself to elevate myself and get myself out there to so many people. I've changed my bank account number. I've added 2 zeros onto it. I have created abundance like I could never dream of. The most beautiful homes around the world. And you can do this too, like so many of my clients are currently doing right now. The success stories speak for themselves. I want to show you how to do it. This is for somebody who is ready though. Don't even bother coming unless you are ready to transform your life. If you feel like, oh, I'm on the fence, I don't know, none of this shit really works, then baby, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for you. This works for somebody who says, I'm ready. I'm ready to try something else. Try using the power of my words. I want to learn in a curriculum. I want to be in a group with other like-minded individuals, and I want to win. This is for entrepreneurs who are ready to go to the next level, or maybe get out of corporate America and go to the entrepreneurship world. If you're ready, come and join us inside the Scripting Society, and I'll see you there. Inspiration. You're right, because you know what? I was looking at this today. It's like an equation, right? Without a why, without inspiration, without something bigger, greater than you to focus on, you have no will. Without will, you have no drive and motivation, which equals momentum.
Yep.
What's momentum? Success. Like when when you're on a flow, you started winning. You got this award, and then suddenly you get an Oscar. What did that feel like?
You know, being a part, I was an executive producer on an Oscar and an Academy Award winning film. And it was beautiful. What I learned from that lesson was there were so many things that I wish I won an award for, that I tried to win an award for. For that, I was part of a project that won it when I wasn't even thinking that it could happen.
Wow.
And sometimes you put these things in your head and you drive towards this goalpost, but it's really the journey, and it's really the hard work, and it's really being passionate about things. And then when all those things come, then sometimes you get the reward that you wanted, right? Because an Oscar's a trophy. It's a reward for putting in work. And I'm happy that I was part of that, a film that was able to do that.
Wow, what an amazing achievement. I think if I was in that world, that's the creme de la creme.
Yeah, it is.
That's like the place you want to get to, and you did it. Yeah. So now when you look to inspiration, do you have a certain ritual? Do you have something that you do to get that inspiration? Or do you just look outside and where does it come from?
You wake up sometimes and you look on Instagram and you're like, wow, this person is kicking my ass right now, right? When I look at you, when we meet 3 years ago, right? And you were just, I believe, building your podcast. Yeah. You were just kind of building this conglomerate that you've been building, right? And I don't know how many followers you had at the time. I know now you got, 13, 14 million that you've built, right? And it's like, if that doesn't motivate anybody to get out of bed, right? Because putting in the work that you've done over the last 3, 4, 5 years is now setting you up for the rest of your life. Yes. You'll be able to talk on stages. You'll be able to write books. You'll be able to produce for the rest of your life because of the work that you put in and the focus that you put in and the drive that you have for a certain amount of time. And so I always tell people look, you got to just wake up and go get it, And even when you go get it, then you'll get lazy, you'll fall back, and then you'll wake up one day, you'll be like, oh, I gotta wake back up and get it again. And momentum. It's momentum. You just continue to go after it. We have 75 years on this earth if we're lucky. Hopefully we can get to 100. But within that point of that frame of time, we're here to create. We're here to do beautiful things. We're here to inspire others. We're here to hopefully make the world a better place than when we came into it. And you know, that's what I wake up with the energy of trying to do is trying to leave a mark and do something great.
That's very important. Leaving a mark on planet Earth, and leaving a legacy that after you're gone. Like, people are going to watch you or watch your productions, watch what you've done in your life, whether you're an actor or not. They're going to watch your movie that you created. Like, we are an actor in our own movie. I believe every day we choose our character and we write our script.
Absolutely.
You know something I used to do when I was young? I used to write out scripting. So I would write down who I wanted to be. So when I was in my hardest times, when I was like a younger single mom, really struggling, I would write down Natasha became this like amazing XYZ. She did this, she achieved this, she bought this house. I wrote this whole story. You know, I like scripted it out. I decided I'm gonna choose who I wanna play. This is my movie and my life. And I'm gonna design my character and I'm gonna learn that script, no different to an actor.
Yeah.
And I guess it works.
You manifested it.
Yeah.
You designed your life. You design your reality. And especially when you write it down, especially when you take the time to craft it out in the way you did, the universe wants to help you. The universe is waiting around like, who's next?
Yeah,
right?
literally.
There's plenty for everybody.
Yes.
And it's just taking that first step. And I'm so proud. That's incredible. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. So much love. Thank you. No, to be honest, how I see it is, like you just said, the universe is conspiring for you. It wants to be there for you. So many people, they don't realize this. They're like, they have a competitive mentality, or they don't realize there's enough for everyone, or you've got to get out and get up.
Yep.
You've just got to decide. You just got to choose and wake up and say, hey, today is my day and I'm going to go and do this. And like, you can't make any more excuses, because guess what? When you make an excuse, you stay down here and everyone just climbs over you. Like, hey, you okay? And they carry on. They're not paying your bills.
Yep.
They're going to keep on moving and you're going to be stuck down there. Like, you have to get back up when you feel that drive, when you feel that inspiration. Yesterday I was sitting down. I was writing all my new chapters from my book. Right, I'm writing my next book.
Okay.
And I was going through it, and I got to this one chapter, and it said, when you feel inspired, make the call. And someone popped to my mind who I'm working with, right, on this project. I hadn't spoken to him in like 3 months. And we were gonna like revamp the project and make it happen. It's a Sunday night when I was thinking about this. It was 9:30 and I was like, oh God, he'll be asleep. It's rude to call someone at 7. No, as I'm writing it, I'm feeling inspired to go call him.
Yep.
So I pick up the phone,
Make
I call
the
him.
call.
Done. We have a 35-minute amazing phone call the next day on the Monday morning, literally this week. We put everything we spoke about into action. That is the universe giving you prompts. The universe is literally saying, hey, here's a little prompt, take it. And if you don't listen, it gives you less and less and less signs until you start to listen, right? Do you get this?
In addition to that, you don't quit.
Yes.
Right? One thing about, and I'm giving you your flowers. For Natasha, how many times did you try to set this up, right? Multiple. You are dogmatic in getting something done. And I can only imagine the amount and the volume of people that you're reaching out to on a daily basis. Because today you're setting up your next interview for 3 weeks from now, right? And sometimes, especially when people are busy, it takes hitting them 3 or 4 times. And a lot of times people have ego. And when you have ego, you might want to be the top executive at your accounting firm or at your architect firm or the best doctor. But a lot of times you might ask for that promotion or you might go after that new class. And as soon as you get told no, you are like, okay, this is not for me, right? When you remove that ego and you know that, hey, whatever you design in your life is for you and you keep going after it, you will get it. And you hit me 4 times like, hey, we're doing this interview. And then to the point, I had to write in my notepad on my phone, on my to-do list, your name was on there to do this interview. And it was, I don't know when we're going to do it, whenever we're in the same, I am going. So then your priorities then became other people's priorities, right? Because when you speak something into existence with such passion, other people get motivated to call that. I'm like, okay, I work for her now. When are we doing this thing? All right.
I want to have this person teach those around me.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do, is create this space for people to share their gifts, like your gifts. You know what I mean? Okay, give us one more.
Oh gosh.
Have you read Think and Grow Rich?
I haven't read Think and Grow Rich, but I have it. But I have a bad habit of buying books and not reading them too.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, read all that. I have an app for that, babe. It's
Yeah.
called, oh, I'll tell you after, but it's a really great app. And
I think I know the app that you're talking
yeah,
about.
oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, that's a hell.
Yeah, it helps a lot. The Alchemist was another one.
Ooh, what's that about? I've heard about it and not read it.
Really?
No.
The Alchemist is by Paolo Coelho, and it is an amazing book of just. You ever see that meme or that picture on social media where you have the small carrot, or you have the gold, and if you would have kept digging for the gold, you would have actually got there, and you would have gotten it. But all those, or the bigger carrot versus the smaller carrot. The Alchemist is literally about chasing one's dream and chasing one's destiny, and not settling for the glitter and the gold that can come in the way, and thinking that that's actually the dream and the destiny, but you actually know you should keep on going further. And as the further you go, you're really going to get what it was that you were meant to get. And it's an amazing book. I'm shocked that they haven't made the movie yet, you know. But that was actually a book, not to name drop, but that was like the book that Will Smith told Terrence and I to read.
Really?
That was like the first, he's like, when you get into Hollywood, and read this first.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of
That's
his top
so
books.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're a very spiritual family.
Will is, yeah.
They're a very
He's
spiritual
super
family.
spiritual, super grounded. There's a lot of books, actually. I will shoot him an email. I call him Unc, and shoot him an email, and I'll be like, which one do I read this time? You know.
So nice.
And he always has a great book list of things that you should do.
That's so cool. Oh, I love that. Well, the reason I ask about books is obviously because we have a book club every Friday, and a lot of our listeners come to that. I was literally filming it right before
so
we
cool.
came here, so that's why I was like, I'm nearly there. No, so it's a really beautiful space, because it's not just for book lovers; it's for people who maybe they haven't started reading yet, but they want somebody to break the book down for them. You know what I mean? And it's a space where we dive into the law of attraction. We dive into the stuff which we want to know, like, how do I get to this goal? And I share my personal experiences and things I've been through. Today we had a lovely success story, which was really out of nowhere. She grabbed me at the end and said, guys, we have to wrap. You know, I'm filming after this. We have to go. And she said, please, can I share? And I said, okay, cool. This lady called Lisa comes up. I recognized her from a program. She'd been in one of my programs in 2021. And she says, Natasha, I just wanted to share that the method you just talked about scripting today on the book club, here is my rose you told me to buy and the script that I wrote in 2021. I'd been single for all this time and I wanted to attract love. Here I am, like less than 2 years later, and I'm in a happy, harmonious love relationship with my best friend, this guy.
Wow.
And she's like, it works. And so that's why I do this, for the breakthroughs, you know, like you were saying, those big words that you pin on your fridge, for those moments of happiness for others.
Yes.
And that's probably why you do what you do, because you bring such joy to people's lives when they see you on camera.
Thank you.
Alter ego, I just realized that was when I saw you on something. I must have watched that whenever that was out recently. Oh my God, I love the 3D, 4D, 5D. Like,
that is a world of Alter Ego, which was a singing competition show on Fox. And it was such a great, I talk about another blessing when it came out of nowhere and was like, what? I actually, when I got that job, was in between jobs, and that week I got 2 offers.
no way.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is...
I can only imagine what the other one was as well.
The other one was crazy. It would have been great. It would have been fun, but it was nowhere as big as the opportunity of hosting a primetime music show like what Alter Ego was. But AI technology and just the way that we are consistently raising the bar on what's that new invention and innovation going to be. AI technology is something that people, especially in entertainment business, have to start paying attention to, because it is here to take over and to change the game. It's definitely not going anywhere.
We love AI.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, do you know it?
No.
Oh my God, this is going to change your whole world. ChatGPT, and I don't know how the fuck they make money, because it's free for the most part. So you go on there, ChatGPT, it's like called chatopenai.com or something wild. And when you go on, you ask it anything at all, anything. So it's a little bit like, you know, you could ask it a question, but here's where it gets cool. So I could say, what's the weather like in LA today? Brr, boring. Let me do something awesome. So I'm like, write me my new book in the style of The Alchemist and 15 chapters, 1,200.
No way.
I swear to you.
No
This
way.
is the thing people are
God.
using. Girl, it's changed my world. I go on there and I'm like, this needs to be known. Like, okay, if you're listening now, you can sponsor this show because I do love you and I'll talk about you. But no, I honestly have to say it's changed my world.
Oh, and now I know what I'm going to be going to do at home when I go home after this.
Oh, girl.
I have to check it out.
Oh my God,
you're gonna send me the link.
No, I will. You know what?
Totally
I will. I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send
That's
it.
crazy.
So
no,
good.
It's scary. It's
scary,
That's
I know.
great, but then it's scary at the same time
So wait,
too.
when you did the show Alter Ego, when you see, for anyone who hasn't seen this show, go and Google Rocsi now. Put Rocsi Diaz Alter Ego onto YouTube. You'll find all the stuff on there. I think that may have been where we watched the playbacks, whatever we watched. But oh my God! So there's like 5D. I think it's like 5D.
It's actually
Hologram.
It's like the movie Avatar-ish type of technology where they use mocap suits and then they created this cartoon character. We call them avatars. It's an avatar. It's literally a digital avatar.
Did you see them on stage next to you?
So as you're standing next to me as a human being,
Yeah.
our alter ego, the character would be standing next to me on stage. You at home would see that. But what I would see is actually nothing, and I'm actually looking at a monitor way far that would give me the same eye level as if I was looking at. It took a lot. So let's think about it. It was definitely the most creative, weirdest boot camp of hosting television shows that I've ever did, because everything that I did there was something I've never done before.
You know, that it's just
leaning into your strengths.
Yeah, it's just nature for people to want to do a lot of things and not just one thing.
So true. And you're saying how we each have our strength.
Yeah.
Will you expand on that?
Yeah, we was talking about a book that I read called Soar With Your Strengths, and it speaks to human nature and how we are as human beings and how we like to work on the things that we're not good at, you know, work on our faults. And the book speaks about how if you're not good at something, the best you'll probably be at it is good. But if you're already naturally good at something, you can be great at that and be in that 1 percentile of people that are phenomenal at something.
If you work on it.
Yeah, if you work on it. So I really started leaning into that and soaring with my strengths. And I realized, this is the crazy thing, I realized that I used to think that my strength was music, was making music. But I realized that my strength is being a creative. So music was just part of that. It was, you know, part of that creativity. But there's so much creativity in me, from film ideas to television ideas to, you know, tech ideas, you know, inventions that I've created, you know, that patenting and that's still in the works. But I happen to think that these things will change the world when I bring them to market. So sometimes you got to speak things into existence. But
Oh, yes, you do. That's what this show's about. You believe it and feel it into existence. And okay, carry on. I like this.
So that was it. You know, I just
love that.
You know, I'm just realizing that is my strength. Being a creative is my strength. That's my superpower.
I love that. And everyone has a superpower. If you're listening, trust me, they do. I like that. You see, you've always been in the limelight from when you were young. Like, you came up so young, right? You were like...
Well, I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
But, you know, I started out with my group, and I was about 18 with my group. But that didn't work out the way we planned it, which is another thing that, you know, people need to realize when you're getting into any industry. Failure is a part of success. And it is a saying. I don't love the saying, but I get it. It's like fail fast, fail hard, whatever the fuck it is. Something like that. But I don't love that saying because I don't like to fail at nothing. I'm very competitive.
I'm glad you're honest.
I like to win, and win, you know, so.
Me too.
I don't love that saying, but I do understand it.
Yes.
Because it definitely, it prepares you for the success. It lets you know what roads to take. You know, what roads you need to navigate in order to get to the success. And, you know, sometimes there's forks in the road and you might pick the wrong road. And it's happened. But once you've done that, you know, okay, next time you come to the fork, okay, I gotta go this way. And that's the importance of lessons learned, failing. You know, Warren Buffett, he said something really, really interesting. He said he won't even do business with a startup unless the person that's doing it has failed twice before in business.
How interesting.
Because he says that's why he knows that they know what not to do.
100%.
And that's how half of it, you know. Having a vision and pushing forward is part of it, but knowing what not to do is also a big part of it.
100%, but how do we know not what to do? By failing.
Exactly.
By tripping. But
Exactly.
I always say to people, don't look at me now by who I am today. Look at me by how many times I have fallen down and got back up.
Exactly.
How many times I have had to stand back up because no one ain't paying my bills. No one's doing it for me.
You know, most people can't relate because most people are not decision makers. So if you're not making mistakes, you're not making decisions. You know?
Yeah,
You can't make mistakes if you're not the one making the decisions.
this is so true.
You know, so those fall in the laps of, you know, the heads of these situations. And you know, that's what makes it even that much harder. Because you're making these decisions and they're not just for you, they're for a whole team of people that these decisions affect, you know. So it's important that you learn from those lessons.
100%. You have to. And then it's from that you won't make that same mistake twice.
Absolutely.
You know what that saying goes, you know, fool me once, you know, okay. It's
You fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. You fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. George Bush, give it to good old George.
so true. But that's it. That's how we learn. We grow.
Yeah,
so you got to plant seeds in your garden of things which are exciting for you, things that you're passionate about, things that are like, you know, I'm planting seeds. You know, you've planted so many seeds and they're coming to fruition. It's like, look at Icon. That was just a seed. You're a creative.
You know, just for the record, the saying actually is "fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me."
Yeah.
Okay, right. That is the actual saying. We're not George Bush over here. We know the words. But one of the most fun parts about what was that question again?
I was saying about planting seeds, and you planted the seed of creativity.
Yes. One of the most fulfilling things about being a creative is having that thought. You know, one day when you're in the shower or, you know, sitting on the toilet, whatever you get your thought process. You know, mine's coming to think tank.
Oh, really?
I call it the think tank.
What's that?
It's my bathtub.
Oh, mine's in the shower. Yes.
I get in my bathtub and
It's water.
I fill it with fluffy bubbles.
So cute.
And I get real bougie and fucking sitting there and smoke me a joint, and I come up with all kinds of amazing ideas, and I call it my think tank. But the most fulfilling part of that is having that idea and seeing it come to fruition. There's nothing better than that. Even with music, you know, having a song in your head that's just, you know, something that was personal to you or whatever, and then you create that, and then the whole world sees that vision. And then you get, you know, people that'll say, yo, that record helped me through something.
Wow.
What you were going through, I was too going through that, and it helped me. You know, that is the most fulfilling thing. Starting something from its inception and seeing it through to